Damn. All right, y'all, bear with me. Y'all already know. Hello, Morgan. Hold on. Okay. So let me just check one more thing because you already know. I think it's absolutely retarded that YouTube doesn't show me my own stuff. Okay. So let me just check one more thing. All right. So I'm on. All right. I'm on. All right. I'm on. Let's get it popping. All right. God, please make this go the way I want it to. God, please allow me to speak from my heart with full sincerity and the truth that I know. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to get right into it because I don't want to be on here too long. And I always say that and I'm always on here long, but I like talking to y'all, right? So, okay. So we're going to get into it. So if you saw the title of my live, it's called, hold on, let me see what did I call it? Everything. Honest God. Okay, I can't wait to meet the FBI. And then we're going to have a bonus talking about the Harkles. Who would they be without borderline personality disorder? But actually, I'm going to be talking about a couple things. So we're going to get right into it. But I'm going to talk about just a couple things. Okay, so anyway, let's get started. So why I wanted to come on and talk about this topic. This topic I'm about to talk about is, okay, on Monday after 9/11, Tucker Carlson had a monologue where he was talking about the FBI basically raiding and just attacking the privacy of anybody who is cool with Donald Trump. That's just, I don't know what else to say, how else to say it. So we're going to take a look at his monologue and just basically how Democrats really take J6 and they compare it to 9/11. Like 9/11, like, are you serious? Like, so let's just go ahead and get into that. We'll look at that together. So we'll look at it together and we'll kind of talk about it together.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson's on Happy Monday.
I'm gonna pause it just to make sure y'all can hear it. Okay, so y'all can hear it. All right, bet. Hey, Traditions. Hey. Traditions, I heard you going live too. So I'll be off here before yours. So, because I want to watch your live. Okay. All right. So let's just get started. So this was right after September 11th.
Yesterday marked the 21st anniversary of 9/11. That was, as you know, the single deadliest terror attack in all recorded history. If you're over 30, you did not need to be reminded. You remember it vividly. 9/11 changed America completely and changed it forever. Nothing has been the same here since, especially the relationship between Americans and their government. A decade ago, the New York Times admitted this. The Times marked the anniversary of 9/11 by publishing a piece on the rise of domestic surveillance abuses, which exploded after the 9/11 attacks. The Patriot Act, according to the New York Times, quote, quickly became a sort of shorthand for government abuse and overreaching, which, quote, inflicted collateral damage on political dissent, religious liberty, and the freedom of association, end quote.
So I'll be pausing to say like a few comments, okay? we're not going to watch the whole Tucker Carlson episode. We're going to watch some of his monologue, the Patriot Act. So real quick, anybody who, like he said, is over 30, really younger than that, can remember 9/11. 9/11, I talked about it in one of my videos when we were getting ready to go to war with the Ukraine. And I talked about 9/11, how optics really do something to people clearly. And the government knows this, right? So optics, seeing those buildings come down like that, everybody was like, we got to fight, we got to fight, we got to fight. And then, there was weapons of mass destruction, and then everybody went to go fight. And there weren't any weapons of mass destruction, but we gained a bunch of surveillance. That's what we gained. So the Patriot Act is basically shorthanded. It is where the government can just, like these lovely phones they give us, they could just, tap in and say, well, I think she's doing something wrong. Let me just surveil her and see, if she is doing something wrong, like without warrants or anything like that. And it's like, well, for your safety, you have to give up a little bit of liberty, okay? A little bit of freedom. But what safety? Like, it's like it is a false promise of safety, okay? But anyway, let's keep going.
That is still true. In fact, truer than it's ever been, and it is still a tragedy. What's fascinating is that the New York Times has stopped acknowledging it. In fact, remarkably, there was not a single mention of the 9/11 anniversary on the front page of yesterday's paper, the paper that purports to represent New York, the epicenter of the 9/11 attacks. Now, why would the New York Times ignore 9/11? Well, good question. Because the New York Times and the tiny leadership class it panders to, and in fact represents, now wholeheartedly endorses the nationwide crackdown on civil liberties that 9/11 made possible. And why wouldn't they endorse it? They're benefiting from it. It's how they keep power. So for them, in retrospect, 9/11 was less a tragedy than it was an opportunity. And if you don't believe that, watch how Joe Biden, the President of the United States, commemorated that anniversary yesterday.
It's not enough to gather and remember each September 11th, those we lost more than 2 decades ago, because on this day, it is not...
Let me pause. Traditions, you said something that I'm right there with you, but YouTube apparently will give me the strike because you said it. So that's the only reason why I removed it. All right? Okay.
About the past, it's about the future. We have an obligation, a duty, a responsibility to defend, preserve, and protect our democracy.
It's not about the past, it's about the future. This was in a speech that was supposed to mark the anniversary of the deaths of thousands of Americans at the hands of foreign adversaries. So when Joe Biden speaks about the future, you should listen. The future of what? Don't focus on the dead, focus on what I want to do. Okay, but what is it that Joe Biden wants to do? Fight Islamic terrorism? No. Protect democracy. But what exactly is this democracy that Joe Biden speaks of? Why won't he define it ever? And how exactly is that democracy imperiled? These are pivotal questions. And for answers, we're going to turn to the source. That would be Chuck Todd of NBC News, who in practice is a slightly more articulate version of Biden publicist Karine Jean-Pierre. If you want to know what the Biden administration is really thinking, listen to the guy with the comb-over in the anchor chair at NBC. Here is his exchange with Kamala Harris, the sitting vice president, yesterday.
Not quite 20 years after 9/11, the Capitol came under attack from domestic terrorists. I began by asking the vice president about how, over 2 decades, our focus has had to shift from foreign terror to the threat from within.
I think it is very dangerous.
So we're watching a little bit more. I would say we probably watch like another 2 minutes, okay?
And I think it is very harmful, and it makes us weaker. So you look at everything from the fact that there are 11 people right now running for Secretary of State, the keepers of the integrity of the voting system of their state, who are election deniers.
Coming from one of the biggest election deniers ever. Anyway.
You've got...
And what's that sending? What message does that send to the world?
Well, you couple that with people who hold some of the highest elected offices in our country who refuse to condemn an insurrection on January 6th.
So you're slack-jawed watching something like this. Did I just see that? And I'm quoting, I began by asking the vice president about how over 2 decades our focus has had to shift from foreign terror to the threat within. The threat within? What does that mean? What the hell are you talking about, you freaking lunatic? There is no group of Americans anywhere in the United States half as dangerous as the 9/11 hijackers. To suggest otherwise is literally insane. Drawing a parallel between the election justice protest of January 6th and the fall of the Twin Towers? True lunacy. But Kamala Harris didn't even pause, almost like the whole question was a setup. She just nodded. This unspecified internal threat, she confirmed, is in fact just like al-Qaeda. Quote, very dangerous and very harmful. You may be wondering at this point, what is this threat? Since we've just declared a new war on terror, but against whom? Who is this threat? Well, of course, it's you and anyone else in the way of the Biden administration. And especially, as the vice president just said, and you saw it, anyone who questions the legitimacy of the last election. But wait a second, you ask, didn't Kamala Harris herself call the 2016 presidential election illegitimate? Your memory's not failing. Yes, she did. And so did every leader of the Democratic Party. And they will say the same to this day. And yet she is telling us, the sitting vice president, that anyone who questions the 2020 election should be in jail. Watch.
What is a semi-fascist?
Listen, I think that let's not get caught up in.
All right, let me pause anyway and start talking a little bit and give my thoughts already, right? So, okay, you have people like this, like Kamala, who's sitting here and she's gonna, I don't know, whatever she's gonna say is a semi-fascist. Fascism is not people I don't like. Fascist is not, I don't like you, now you are fascist. No, fascism is, I'm the government and I have a narrative and I need to keep control of that narrative. So we will go to the free press and tell the free press what they can and cannot talk about. I'm actually taking a chance really doing this. No, I'm not going to even admit to that. I'm not. I'm just talking. I'm not saying anything wrong. Okay. That's what fascism is. It's I'm the government and I'm getting people to do my bidding, basically. All right. So whatever she's about to say, that's not what it is. Secondly, that's what they're trying to say. Like, okay, so now the terror has come home. We're going to talk about why I say I can't wait to meet the FBI. Okay. All right. Hold on.
Politicizing the fact that most people in America know that it is not helpful to our country when we have people who are denying elections or trying to obstruct the outcome of an election where the largest number of people in our country voted for the president of the United States. And when we look at where we are, I think that we have to admit that there are attacks from within, to your first question, and we need to take it seriously.
So again, that's the sitting vice president, who they tell us over and over, and you just heard her say it, received more votes than.
And so we're going to skip
20 years. We are seeing an emergence.
On the anniversary of 9/11.
What you're going to see is Mayorkas. He is the head of the Department of Human Services, like our security department, basically, like.
Was it any American
of Homeland Security? That's what it is.
who disapproves of Joe Biden's performance is a terrorist. Here's the DHS secretary, Mayorkas.
The threat landscape has evolved considerably over the last 20 years. We are seeing an emerging threat, of course, over the last several years of the domestic violent extremist, the individual here in the United States radicalized to violence by a foreign terrorist ideology, but also an ideology of hate, anti-government sentiment, false narratives propagated on online platforms, even personal grievances.
Is no one paying attention to this? Does no one see this happening?
Personal grievances. So this man really just described anybody who has a thought. Anybody who has a thought that is not what the government says or what they say. We're gonna say they. Where it's not what they say. You are now a threat. And I'm gonna show you the writing that you are. I've done an episode kind of like this, but I want to show you. I'm going to do this one fast because the other one is kind of long. People need to realize this stuff is in writing and it's for everybody. Okay.
That's the DHS secretary saying that opinions he doesn't agree with expressed online, which most of us
Not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
So in even that, like that's our president telling us that you keep evoking the name of Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. So what is that? Like that's anybody who voted for Donald Trump. That's anybody who didn't vote for Joe Biden. Really, that's what that is. That is, you didn't have to vote in the 2020 election. Like, so Tucker goes on to talk about, hold on, that they've been basically subpoenaed by the DOJ.
Just happening to Amy Kremer. This show has obtained a subpoena from Merrick Garland's DOJ issued in the past week. And what it demands is both unlawful and without precedent in American history. The subpoena claims to be investigating, quote, any claim that the vice president and or president of the Senate had the authority to reject or choose not to count presidential electors. Now, keep in mind that any claim you make as an American citizen about electors, any claim you make about American politics, period, is protected explicitly under the First Amendment. That's our core freedom. It's why we live here. It's why we're proud to be Americans. It's why so many American servicemen died protecting our country. Those are the freedoms that they fought to preserve. That's why nobody prosecuted leading Democrats in 2016 when they sought to reject electors for Donald Trump. Right.
So I want to stop sharing Tucker and come back and talk to you. So basically, but who is this? Yep. Nathan. Yes, I don't know the full story about that, but there was this thing about Nathan just said Hawaii sent alternate electors in 1960 for Kennedy. It is a shame because like I have to be careful how I talk about the constitutional rules of the country I live in, right? So this country, like sorry, y'all. So there are things, if something isn't right with the documents or the dossiers or whatever that make a vote or whatever, and I'm talking like this so I don't get this channel banned because they don't want you to know what's in your constitution. Certain authorities do have the right to say, this doesn't look right. And I'm not taking this one because something's wrong with it. That's like even counterfeit money. If you know you running a business and somebody give you counterfeit money, you wouldn't want to take it, would you? Right? You would say something's wrong with this, right? So that's the point. That's the point. You could question anything. You should be allowed to question anything. But if you do, you are now effectively like public enemy number one. And I just want to show you guys like what I mean to when I say that, because hold on. Let me take the sound off now because we don't need the sound on. I got like two different kind of all right, bet. So I've shown you guys this before. They have this stuff in writing. National Strategy for Countering Domestic Terrorism. So hold on. They have a strategy to counter domestic terrorism. They'll say DVEs, and then they'll call you violent extremists, okay? And here is the criteria of a domestic terrorist. I just want you to, this is the FBI. I'm not saying, listen, that's what they're saying, right? Racially, ethnically motivated violent extremists, okay? Animal rights, environmental violent extremists. You notice they don't really come really for this group. Abortion-related violent extremists. Well, they really must not care about that because we had people that were burning down pregnancy centers and they didn't come for them at all. But this is the one that freaks me out a little bit. Anti-government and anti-authority violent extremists. DVs with ideological agendas derived from anti-government or anti-authority sentiment, including opposed to perceived economic, social, or racial hierarchies, or perceived government overreach, negligence, or illegitimacy, militia violent extremists are anarchists, DVEs who oppose all form of capitalism, corporate globalization. That bothers me. Like if you oppose globalization, you somehow fall into this criteria. Okay, you are now a domestic extremist, I guess, right? Well, guess what? I'm not fond of globalization, global capitalism. No, I'm not. I'm worried about at home. I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying that. Sovereign citizen violent extremists. There are people who believe they are immune from government authority and laws. There's some people who really know like the Constitution and these laws, and they do say like, I've seen this one guy one time who was like, "You Zionists cannot put me in jail. You can't put me in jail." And they really didn't. This guy was in court and started going off. Anyway, all other domestic terrorist threats. Here we go. So DVEs, so you know, I mean, then we got we got the miscellaneous DVEs with ideological agendas that are not otherwise defined under one of the other domestic terrorism. And so you ain't fall over here. So we gotta have something for you here. In combination of personal grievances, you complaining too much about the mandates. You know what I'm saying? You complaining too much about the mandates. I don't know. Do we need to check you out? Grievances and beliefs and potential bias related to religion. Oh wait, you believe that God said man is man and woman is woman? What? That sounds a little extreme. Gender or sexual orientation. I know. You know what I mean? I know. And this is the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, strategic intelligence assessment data on domestic terrorism. Okay, this is from 2021. This is Joe Biden's FBI. Okay, now, and hold on. And I told like this thing right here is his whole strategy. This is 32 pages long. It covers everything. It basically, if you're a free thinker, this is why when you see, you'll see sometimes I say stuff about like, okay, Donald Trump was raided and all. I'm like, not only can it happen to you, it is already happening to you, but if you are a free thinker, you don't even have to have vote for Donald Trump. If you're a free thinker, okay, one day, all I know, I'm gonna speak for me. I'm not gonna stop talking. I'm not gonna stop letting people know what's going on out here, what kind of bills they have. There's another one, HR 350. Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022. This bill passed the House, I believe, and now it passed the House. Yeah, and then and it passed this. Okay, so it passed the House and it's in the Senate and they're doing roll calls or whatever. This is a new bill that I have to go through this bill in full detail. And yes, they'll start with saying white supremacy, but you know, I keep telling y'all, white supremacy is not about a color. White supremacy is about you having value in yourself or your property or your thoughts or even your thoughts. You know, and this is not me scaring anybody, but I didn't write this stuff. So I feel like you should know. Okay. And I'm not gonna stay, like I said, too long. The ACLU had to even like they wrote this, I believe, in July 2021. Biden's domestic terrorism strategy entrenches bias and a harmful law enforcement power. For the first time in this country's history, a president has announced national strategy to address domestic terrorism. The strategy is grounded in good intentions, rightly emphasizing America's history and present escalation of white supremacist violence, whatever, and chronic contributors to that violence, including racism and bigotry. The strategy also emphasizes adherence to cherish civil rights and civil liberties in any responsive actions the government takes and the need to foster resilience. But despite these heartening words, we have major concerns about the strategy, what it does and doesn't do. Communities of color and rights group like ours hope the Biden administration will rein in over broad law enforcement powers. Yeah, but they didn't. We could stop right there. Yeah, but they didn't. That's why y'all fell for all this. It looked beautiful. So the devil doesn't come to you as a dragon. He comes to you as a piece of cake, a cookie. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever it is you like, that nice shirt. I don't know. That's how he comes to you. So y'all fall for this stuff thinking like, rightly emphasizing America's history. Whatever. Okay, emphasizing America's history. This is history. What about so today? And then the rise of white supremacist violence. BS. Miss me with that. Y'all see my last live. Black folk was wrong. Okay. It's not no white supremacist violence that's rising. All right. Okay. It was all lies. They do that to make you say, yay, Joe Biden, he's going to save us. He's going to make everybody love each other. He's going to bring unity. There's going to be no more racism. There's no such a thing ever in life. You're just supposed to deal with people as they come along. If somebody doesn't like you because you're Black, then don't talk to them. They shouldn't talk to you. If somebody doesn't like you because you're Jewish, because you a girl, because whatever, you don't got to be friends with that person. It's just that simple. I don't know. I know, but I don't know. So now the ACLU got scared. Well, y'all gave him the power, like y'all gave him the power. Y'all said, save us, governments. Y'all really think, y'all was like, government, save us, please. There's so many mean words out here, and people are mass shooting the supermarkets. Dig this. Any mass shooting is a very bad thing. Rest in peace to anybody who's died. I'm not minimizing that. But it's like this feeling like, oh, bad things are happening. Yes, bad things are happening, but it's not that. It's not. We have civil liberties and civil rights and everything. Y'all want somebody else's acceptance so bad that they gave you too much acceptance. Okay. It says, I'll accept you as long as you agree with me all the time. There's no crack in that too. It's like all the time. Well, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, but you don't like shots, right? Okay. Well, I took the jab, but I just feel like I don't need like a seventh one. I'm the government. I said, oh, I thought we were friends. Now I'm looking at you like an enemy. What's going on? Well, I don't think we should be sending all this money to Ukraine. Hey, wait a second. You're going against me. I thought we were friends. I got to put you on the enemy list. So anybody who is rooting for this administration, and this came out of this administration. So anybody who's rooting for this administration, I hope that you agree with every single thing they say all the time. And you won't. You won't. I am sick to my stomach, for real. It pisses me off. And that's why I talk about, why I talk about it, because I never thought, I know somebody will say like, oh, well, Black people been going through this. I know that, but not like this. This is coming for everybody. I didn't know I lived in a monarchy. That's all I'm saying. Like, I didn't know. I thought this was America where rights were covered, and no, I'm not naive for thinking that, because for the longest time, up until I was 38, I didn't have a problem with my thoughts and speaking how I feel. This is Haiti. Okay, it's just a sophisticated Haiti. Shout out to my cousin Peterson. It's just a sophisticated Haiti. Okay, so we're gonna end with that discussion right there. You guys, if I end up getting up, it's because I'm waiting for somebody to come and grab something from me. So sorry. So we're gonna end up with that particular discussion, but we're gonna go into other stuff too. So, you guys, first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming and hanging out. So I was told by some really wonderful people who care about me that I should so I believe that information should definitely be free, especially in this day and age when it's already hard to come by. And, they're always trying to choke up the narrative and hold on to the narrative or whatever. And so I've always been like, I'm not going to ever, I don't need to really ask people for money. I don't want to do that because I want people to be able to get the information. I still feel this way. I do still feel this way. However, I do understand, I do support independent content creators. I'm not asking anybody for anything. If you want to support, you can. Okay. I understand we're going through inflation and everything. If you want to support, you can. But I never want, I don't believe, y'all don't ever have to worry about me relying. I'm talking too much because I'm getting nervous. So I don't like asking, right? But I do support independent content creators. I do send cash apps to people that I watch because they give me information that I didn't know that that I was getting. So that was going on. So I feel like, I'm a support when I can. So if you like it and you want to support, I'm just sharing my this is my cash app. Okay. I'm just trying to see if it's coming up. It's my cash app, That Girl KC1. So it's like the same way how it is on YouTube, That Girl KC, and then with the one at the end. All right. That's my cash app. My name is Casey Felon. So if you want to support, you can. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we're going to get into the discussion that I had with we're going to get into the question that I had real quick on YouTube, on Twitter, excuse me. on the Twitters. And yeah, I'm getting like mad notifications too. So it was a quick question that I wanted to ask because, we're coming up on election time. There goes Mayorkas again. This is when Rand Paul was giving them the business, like, I don't need government in my speech. Or anyway, so we're coming up on election time. And I'm just trying to see if everything went through with my begging on who you are. Thank you, D. Thank you. I hope I'm saying it right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your lovely comment. Own who you are, own your value. This takes effort to do. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. I do. I enjoy it too. Like, I feel like I do enjoy it. Like, I feel like for me to be asking, but like, I like doing this though, because I like to talk. I used to get in trouble all the time in school for talking. Then I like to find information and share it and be like, y'all know this is happening, that's happening. Anyway, so, but thank you. I do appreciate you. So I asked this question on Twitter. Is abortion a deciding factor for you in elections? Okay, so I just asked it. This thing got like 129 likes, 167 like responses. I was like, oh my God, so somebody, people like always, people joking around. Some people say yes. So anyways, like I was going through it, and this person speaking truth as a human rights said it was for me years ago, but I have other priorities now. I don't like abortion and would never really willingly be responsible for one, but it sometimes is necessary to save a woman's life and should not be restricted by the government. It's stupid for Republicans to push this issue. So for that moment, I didn't know what was going on too, because the reason why I asked that question was because all of a sudden I saw like all the stuff about like, oh, I can't believe the Republicans are banning abortion. And I'm like, what's going on? Like I hadn't been on Twitter for a while. Come to find out Lindsey Graham was being Lindsey Graham. You know what I'm saying? Sabotage and everything. I can't stand like doing what he do best. Even so, apparently Lindsey Graham comes up with some paperwork like this is how we're going to federally ban abortions. Nobody asked you to do that, Lindsey. What's going on? It's September, and that's what you come up with. I heard Mitch McConnell was even like, "Yo, bro, what's up, man? You're a little too obvious with the sabotage this time, Like, and thank you. My best friend just shouted me out, telling me, "Thank you, yes, give them cash app. Thank you for the support." So, yeah. So I'm like, what? Like, why would he? Like, come on now. All right, So the real discussion is with abortion. Is it my deciding factor as a woman? Like, oh, I'm not going to vote for him because he might get rid of abortion. No, it's not. The economy, the energy, and our border, that's my deciding factor. If we're going to do like a federal, like a presidential election, but at home, like a governor, again, energy, how can you bring more like sustain our states with jobs, with energy production, because I live in PA, so this can happen. It can happen here. Law and order, okay, and just protecting the citizens of the state. And then I don't know really a governor who's running in my state who's saying that they're going to really outright ban abortions, because they asked Doug Mastriano today, are you going to outright ban abortions? And he said, it doesn't matter how I feel about it anyway. Like, this is not a kingdom. Okay. He said it again. He said it clear. He was like, it's not a kingdom. Basically, like, that comes from the legislator. I don't just say this, that, and then just like a magic wand. It comes from the legislator. There is steps to doing something like that. It's not there's checks and balances. Okay. So that's why for me, I'm like, it's really not that much of a deciding factor. And at 39, like I'm gonna leave it right there. Right. But I feel like too, with this discussion, like, it's like, and some people was like, yes, it's a deciding factor. And I was like, I mean, I respect it. One thing I liked about this dialogue, this little, this talk that we had on Twitter right here, was that it was calm for the most part. I don't think still to now I've seen anybody go off like, oh, you're just a effing dummy and all. I haven't seen none of that. Everybody had a somebody put no jab mandates are I can understand that, because one thing is, like, I don't think anybody's banning abortion, but don't force me to put something inside of me. Okay, you can't, that's very violent. Okay, You know, I can't talk about it on this channel because, you know, so, but somebody else put no, but gun rights and mental health funding are, and yes, they must coexist in full. I could understand that. I never voted for a candidate who supports, you know what I'm saying? Like, people had their answers, and it, for the most part, I think it stayed pretty calm, and I like that. I love dialogue. We're not all going to agree. Maybe some people say, yes, that is the deciding factor for me. That's their right to say that. I just really wanted to get like an opinion, but for the most part, though, I will say, Republicans, listen to this, okay? If you're watching, I don't think it is that much of a huge issue. I don't think it's one that you need to, if you're running whatever, you know, you're running in a state, I don't think it's one that you really need to, you know, be like, I mean, well, get all nervous and walk back. All you have to do to me is say, like, listen, my values are XYZ, but we live in a country where I can't enforce my thoughts on people. That's supposed to be how it is. But, you know, ever since this administration came through, like, I feel like we're supposed to do everything they tell us to do, but whatever. Anyway, so you could say it like that, like there's steps and balances to it. And then the second, like, there's checks and balances to it. And then I would just leave it there. But I would also be like, but really my main focus is, like, if I was running for senator, like in a state, but like for US senator, I would be like, for real, like, I'm not really touching that. Like, my values are my values, but again, there's checks and balances. And this isn't really my discussion because I'm a senator. So now that it goes back to the state, you want to talk to the governor candidate about abortion. But what I would go back and say is my focus is getting us back to energy independence and securing our borders for a fact, you know, becoming a nation again. That's my focus. Like, that's how I would answer. You know, what you want to know personally, how I feel about it? Yeah, nah, I'm not really with it. I understand when it's needed. I don't understand when it's needed when it's 8 months, 9 months, or 28 days after birth. And that's the kind of stuff Democrats are pushing for. They like, we want to be able to have an abortion after the baby came out. That's not, you're not aborting anything anymore. The baby came out. You're fighting for infanticide, right? Come on, let's call it what it is. Whoa, okay. But that's how I would answer. Like, yo, everybody has a right to feel how they feel, but I got to focus on this border, and I got to focus on this energy. Hell, while we at it, I got to focus on this military, because we're not secured in any fashion. There's fentanyl coming through, there's people dying. These are the kind of things I got to focus on right now. Okay. So I just wanted to share, but I thought it was like really cool that like we, I got notifications. I thought it was, people getting notifications about my lives. Oh, YouTube is being kind of nice to me. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that everybody got into a conversation, and I didn't see any name calling, and I like that. Like I said, I think dialogue is quite important. So I'm putting together an election, but yes, I'm reading my notification. Just so y'all know, I'm putting together an election event in Philadelphia called A Faithful Freedom Movement, where I want to bring Republican candidates to Philadelphia to meet the people of Philadelphia, not the people of, anybody can come, right? But not the people of Montgomery County and say, we came to Philly. No. You could, and you should go there too. But I want you to meet the people of Philadelphia. Okay. So this is like seedling, just started. God is good. I've gotten a lot of support with that so far. I got people who got my back. My best friend, of course, got my back. Like, just people got my back. It's things are starting to come together already. And I just like started talking about it. So you know what? I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm saying, so if you want to support, so like if you send me a Cash App though, it's not gonna go like to me, like all right, now I'm gonna use this to, you know, go shopping. No, I would tell you what I use it for. Right now, I am putting together this election event, and yeah, it does come back to That Girl Casey Media, to gain exposure, to do a civic duty, to be part of like doing something for the community and bringing information to the community. Okay. So yeah, if I do get anything out of that, right now it's going to go to fund that, because I'm not, how do I explain it? I I want to do this badly. I want to do this badly. So my best friend just said, yes, it's going to be a great turnout. Thank you, from your mouth to God's ears. And so I really want to do this because I want to get information. Like the media hides, especially we know that the predominant culture in Philadelphia is Black, right? But like I said, anybody can come. Anybody's coming. Like, but everybody's coming. Everybody's invited. But I got to get the flyers out. But they hide the real facts from us. You know, when it was time to vote out Larry Krasner, I was telling people like, nah, this is the facts. This is the stats. This is how many people dying. The media refused to talk about it. Somebody died around not too far from where I was. It was like a hit thing. Like this doesn't happen around here. Thank God. But when the media was out there listening to the leader of the community pray about, dear Lord, please make them take their guns down. Please make them take, that's not a real prayer. Okay, so you can pray about whatever you want, but that's not a solution. Whatever. So I said to the media, I was like, yo, listen, yo, man, I'll say it like, yo, man, we need to get rid of Larry Krasner. Like, yo, Channel 10 News was out there. I said, yeah, we got to get rid of Larry Krasner. He's not convicting people. And people need to know this. They need to know. And they were like, yeah, but nobody's going to vote him out. And they wouldn't put me on. So we see that they hide the news they hide the reality of everything from us. People are opening eyes, they know. So this is what I mean. So like, I want to bring awareness to our candidates. Yes, our Republican candidates. And if God, I know you're going to make it go the way how it's supposed to go. I would love to have, I already emailed him, Senator Doug Mastriano there, because the media lies about that man and calls him all kinds of names just because he prays on camera. People need to see these candidates speak for themselves, okay? Instead of calling them Christian nationalists and all that, I want people to see them speak and answer questions for themselves. So, seedling, but it's going to happen, all right? So, all right, we are coming to the end because I'm doing good. I really only really want to be on here for an hour because other people's lives are coming on. I have to watch, and then I have like, I have a couple people who are, I have somebody coming over, a friend, like, anyway, so, like, a girl, like my cousin, basically. So anyway, so let me stop the share. So here's the bonus, right? So this is something I knew I want to like do. Because I like entertainment news, even though it's like, what does it do for you? What does it really do for you, right? It's like, but sometimes you like to, Morgan, dog, we need to move to blockchain voting with paper. Yeah. An ID, yeah. So Mr. Morgan said, we need to move to blockchain voting with paper, redundancy, and ID. Absolutely, ID. There's nothing, oh, thank you. There's nothing racist about asking somebody for an ID, especially to do something like voting. If I had to use an ID just to, go to the bank or to pick up something, a package, I think I should be able to show an ID when I vote, right? Why is my thing freezing? Unbelievable. It probably took me off. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't know if y'all still could see me because all of a sudden I'm freezing and it's like pissing me off. Hold on. So annoying. Asking for an ID is not racist. I guess am I still on? All right, looks like I'm still on. So, because like on my phone, it's not coming up. Like, so frustrating. Like, I swear these people against me, yo, for real. All right, I'm still on. Let me get to the last part of this because I'll be like, they're trying to get me. I'm like, see, they already cut me off. Okay, so we're coming to the fun part. Is it fun? I don't know. So another thing that's been going on in the news is, do you need an ID bus pass? So in the news, we have the what's her name? Queen Elizabeth, who died, right? Okay. So we know that happened. We know that happened. Okay. Now, you might have seen my thank you, Shloyd. Thank you, everybody. Yes, I'm back on. So I was having an issue with my phone, but I'm okay. So anyway, you might have seen my live where I talk about King Charles is, the Great Reset. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is the Great Reset. So, but two things, I could compartmentalize a lot of things. I'm not saying I'm giving him a pass for being a Great Reset, but I grew up watching these royals in the 90s. I was all about it. Like where, like, oh my God, Diana and Charles, like, oh, he's cheating on her with Camilla. Oh no. Oh my God, look at the boys, look at, oh my gosh, look at the royal family, this. Oh, look at the outfits they wore. And I'm a girl. Like, I was all about that stuff, And then when Diana died, like, forget it. I was I was like, when Diana died, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And oh my gosh, the queen, she didn't even look like she was that upset about it and all that. And then after that, they took a little bit of a break, I feel like, from being like out in public as much, or, or maybe I just stopped watching them about them. But one thing I did know was that apart from everybody, like, let's take apart whatever you may feel about this royal family, like, oh, whatever. It is a institution that it's a British institution. Like, I'm not going to be sitting here. Like, I see people are saying stuff like, oh my gosh, her funeral, like, gosh, they're doing all this and they're doing all that. Like, what is this, Korea? This is all they playing is her funeral. And these are people in like England who are like saying this. And I'm like, yeah, y'all, like, no matter how we feel, it's an institution. I'm not saying like, no, this is what we do. Like, this is what happens. Like, that's what they do. Like, when Michael Jackson died, and I'm not saying he was the queen, but like, there was like 5 different funerals of Michael Jackson. Like, that's just what it happens. And I'm sure this is their tradition. They have traditions. They do. And I'm not getting into, I'm only now learning about Great Reset, all that, whatever. I still watch this stuff. So superficially, like, I don't have a beef with this royal family. But again, King Charles, you need to leave that stuff alone. Anyway, so I remember when little Meghan decided, like, all of a sudden I heard that Meghan Markle was joining the royal family or whatever, like Harry asked her to marry him. I had heard her name like once or twice, right? But I just never, I didn't see her in anything. I didn't watch Suits, so I didn't care, whatever, right? But this girl, when I looked at her, I said, she's bad business. But then she made this comment, and I'm going to get to the point. She made this comment. This was before they got married. She said, they said to her, like, oh my gosh, you're marrying the prince and you get to go to the royal palace. And, oh, this is a great example for young Black girls that, not little. So yeah, this is a great thing for young Black girls. Then they can be princesses too. And instead of her saying like, all right, she could have been like, well, I'm sure they had those kind of examples before. All little girls have those examples, I would have humbled myself if I wanted to make that kind of point. This girl said, well, not just Black girls, all girls. And I know y'all know I don't do ideological thinking, but I did back then. And I was like, and it's still like, it's just still to me a superficial answer. It just was not necessary. Like, you could have did it a different way. From the door when she said that, I said, oh, sis is fake. Okay. Then she goes and she marries Prince Harry and everything. And then, hold on, I'm never gonna find this picture. Hold on, I'm gonna put Meghan Markle and the queen. What the fuck is sorry, y'all. Sorry, I just cursed. And the queen. There's a particular picture. Yep. This lady was always so. Meanwhile, after the whole Diana thing happened, I did notice this family softened up. They did soften up because they know they gave Diana a little bit of a hard time, I would assume. And they softened up. And so So she was still a grandmother to them boys. And they were very supportive of those boys. And I noticed it. They were there for those boys. So when Harry brought home a half Black girl from America who was already married, damaged goods, you might as well say, right? She was like, it's all good. Sorry. Let me get myself crack up. She was like, it's all good. Whatever. We're gonna bring her in. We're gonna bring her in. Hey, this might look good for the monarchy too. More inclusivity, you know. And she was supportive of this girl. You can't fake a smile like this. Hold on. Hurry up. Look at this smile. She's not faking this, okay? And she is though. But what I want you to see in this picture too is they were at some sort of event, and all the like ladies, the ladies who like had status, they all like they had their heads covered. I don't know who the chick is back here. They had their heads covered. When I see Meghan Markle show up and her hair was just down like this, looking all slight. I mean, she don't even have a proper part going on. Okay. And you don't even have to be royalty. Like any Black girl know like what is going on with this part, right? So I was like, oh, I was like, this girl is crazy. Like, that's not, you're not supposed to look like that. Like you're supposed to look a certain way, like a certain sophistication, because you're part of the institution. So they have traditions. Now, I'm getting somewhere with this, y'all. So I feel like people are like, turn it off. Hopefully people in England are watching. So, anyway, so then she went on Oprah and she told every lie in the book. And then Harry was right there with her telling these lies. I'm going fast, right? And Harry's been picked up by this narcissist, and he's gone now. And it's like, you know, everybody, they were racist towards my wife. They asked what color of skin my child was gonna be. They probably was like, good. No, they said that one of the aunts was like, that's what's up. We finally gonna get a kid with some color in his family because Harry is milky. They said something like that. I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't. Secondly, she goes on Oprah and she's like, well, I you know, when I had to meet the queen, you know, it was Harry's grandmother, but he asked me, do you know how to curtsy? And I was like, what? No. And you can't find any footage. Oprah scrubbed the internet. And she's like, do you know how to, he was like, do you know how to curtsy? And he was like, she's like, no, I don't. But it's your grandmother. And apparently he was like, yeah, but she's the queen. Yeah, but she's the queen. Yeah. What do you mean? It is a tradition. It's the same way, like when we come into my house and we say hello to everybody, maybe, you know, we shake hands or whatever. Everybody has their traditions. You know, one time, I'm Haitian, right? So one time I went into a room full of adults and I waved at everybody, kept it moving. My father like to die. He was ready to faint. Like, what kind of trifling daughter did I raise? And I'm like, what are you talking with? What's the big deal? You were supposed to give everybody a kiss on the cheek. I'm like, oh God, is it that deep? Like, yeah, but you're an adult. This is real. You know, you're supposed to curtsy. And then Oprah was like, wow. Like if it was some bad thing. Meghan Markle has borderline personality disorder. Yes, she does. I'm going to tell you right now, I've diagnosed Meghan Markle a long time ago. And that's why when she went on that thing, I was watching and I was like, this girl is full of lies. This girl, you know, I'm going to keep it real. She's a mixed girl. A lot of times, listen, and I got mixed people in my family too. Okay. A lot of times mixed people, they're not sure which, you know, if they're Black enough, if they're white enough, they go through all this confusion. Okay. And then they like attention. So it's like all they know what to do is to get attention. Meghan Markle was not ready to say little Black girls would see her as an example, but she was damn sure ready to say she was a Black woman when she was calling racism, because that's the only time it's cool to connect to being Black is to be a victim, because we know that Black people are oppressed. They were on Oprah talking about that they were oppressed. My God, y'all have private jets. What kind of oppression is that? I want to join that oppression club. Are you serious? So anyway, so made this whole big deal about curtsying, you know, oh, I had to curtsy and all this. This girl is so phony. But guess what she had to do today? Guess what she had to do? Guess look what she's doing. Okay. Yeah, she had to curtsy. And you curtsied in front of the coffin because it's part of tradition. And I got to tell you, You British people, y'all are some nice people, because you would have heard me in the sidelines like, wait, I know you're not curtsying. I know you're not curtsying. Get her out. Get out right now. I thought you had a problem with curtsying. I would have been like, I know. I just would have been like, no, get her out. No, 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 no. She made a mockery. She made a mockery of the whole monarchy just for attention. And there's people to this day who be like, yeah, they treated her racist, as if people were there to see it. I'm sorry, I do not believe her. I don't. She's not genuine at all. I'm gonna show you how she's not genuine too. This episode is gonna go on my That Girl Casey Media channel. I have a new channel, and I'm gonna be talking about that one more. But because this is definitely not for That Girl Casey political channel, like at all. Okay, so to be on my other channel when I splice it up or whatever. So you see, like, all right, everybody's there. He looked real sad too. That's a shame. This girl got a little bit of a y'all seen that? She got a little bit of a smirk in her face. That's a smirk. Like I know that face because I made that face with my best friend when we was trying not to get in trouble in class and trying not to laugh about something. So then you get this little corner of the mouth going up. She doesn't care that she's there. Okay. She doesn't care that she's there. All she wants is attention, like, oh, what was me, but not what was you. I don't know how you had the balls to even show back up after everything you said, but I'm going to start talking about, like, little things like this on the other channel, because I'm not going to go into full detail about everything about her. But this girl is like, first of all, and then so they had to do like a walkabout, right? And they had to do so this channel is the Royal Griff. I do listen to her. So yeah. So they had to, so she always has her hand. She has to hold his hand. This is a control tactic. Like, stay with me, stay close. It's time to go. And she rubs his back. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's like, that's how the narcissist is. Like, I need you to protect me. But yeah, because these people, they don't like you anyway. So anyway, and then people were like, Kate and William, they don't like each other. Why? Because she's not so insecure that she needs to just grip his hand up, because she didn't disrespect the whole nation and feel like she need to grip his hand up anyway. So and then she look all lost anyway. But hold on, there's a particular thing I wanted y'all to see. Yeah, this is when they all standing and still holding the hand. So they got to walk through and meet people, because they're in mourning and stuff, and it's to meet people and everything. And then, she's thinking about something. She's probably scared. She played with her hair the whole time. I know she was nervous when she did that, because I play with my hair a lot when I'm nervous. I probably do it on this channel too much. Now, here they're getting flowers and everything, and they're getting the flowers. They get all these flowers and stuff. They give them so much flowers, and everybody's shaking their hands. It was so nice shaking their hand. I still would have been like, now look what she says. No, I told you that. I said, then she caught the camera. Yep. Yeah. Y'all probably like, oh yes, no. Homie's like, yo, let me take the flowers from you so I can help or whatever. She turns around, she's like, no, didn't I tell you I already put? Thank you. Watch. Boom. No, look at her tilting of the head. The tilting of the head. I know that look. I know, like, how we're gonna watch one more time, y'all. One more time. Okay. Yeah, play with your hair down there. Look, she gonna do it again. No, see, and then she did this. She did that little. Then she caught herself and tried to act like, girl, bye. Like, it's just so rude. Like, it is. It's so rude. And like, and then you still needed his. And then she still. Oh, girl, like, you can see the fakeness. It's like, all right, now go over there, take the things. Okay. Oh, shoot, there's cameras here. Let me play with my hair. I'm nervous. They can see me being a bitch. And hand to the chest. I'm not really a bitch. I'm laughing because it's a little funny, but it's not really all the way funny, because you talk, like 2 days before the lady died, she did an interview with Cut, and she was talking trash again about the royal family. And then the lady died 2 days later, and then you had to show up in England So I don't know how y'all did it. People told me like we were really rooting for her. I'm like, I know y'all were. I wasn't, because I knew what she was when I already people what she was. So we're ending off on this because first of all, because like it's been an hour and I said I just wanted to be on for an hour, but not even just that. I feel like we talked about some good stuff. I'm going to be more going live on Mondays, somewhere around 11, starting next week. I'm going to be going live more often, talking about the things we need to know. You know, our gas prices are getting ready to go back up. Janet Yellen already told people like, oh yeah, hang tight, the gas prices getting ready to go back up. Yeah, because y'all about to manipulate the market. Y'all putting a cap on Russian gas and people running out of gas and around the world. And they are, but we should take care of home first. But they're gonna cap the gas prices around the world and we're gonna pay the subsidy for it. We'll talk about that more. Just everything that's happening. It's election time, so we'll be talking about that. So I'm gonna be showing my face more and more. And if you don't see me, that's because they canned me for something. I don't know. The next time I come back to y'all, I'm gonna have my website to give you to share with you with everything. I've been writing articles, and just more exposure because I'm gonna talk to more people. And like I always say, we don't have to agree about everything, but just still bringing information to people, like bringing a message to people. And I try to do it with a sincere heart, and my lips only speak the truth, that God allows me to assess and find and see. So you guys, thank you. Oh, Morgan said copium. You guys, thank you for always watching. And then I have some more interviews coming. I have a pretty cool interview getting ready that I'm working on right now. It's in the beginning. So we're blowing up, guys. You guys, thank you for everything. If you have not subscribed to this channel, if you made it all the way this far, you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. When I was looking at my analytics, they said that on my lives, there's a lot of people who come on who don't subscribe. And I should have said that before. Like, there's people who watch who are not subscribed to this channel. You know what I'm saying? So if you watching, just hit subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, just hit subscribe. Help a sister out. Help her beat the algorithm, guys. We can do it together. We make a big noise together. They can't censor us all. Guys, keep talking to people, dialogue, share information. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.